Okay, so the last time we did our head and we did our shirt and we did not trim it. We made sure we didn't because we don't want to cut that warp string. Today we're going to do our arms. We're going to basket weave our arms. So if you look at my little finished one here, you can see the arms have this really neat pattern there that almost looks like a basket. That's why it's called basket weaving. And then they're braided here on the ends, which we'll do too. So put your pencil in there if you took it out, and you want to separate your head and your shirt because your arms are going to go in between them, because it's your head, your arms, and then your shirt. And look how cool it is. You can just move this up and down. It won't hurt it in any way, and we'll be able to move it until it starts to get really full. For basket weaving, you're going to need to go into your tabby bag, and you're going to need to grab 3 of one color, and I'm choosing blue for my first color. So I have 3 blues. Good. And then 3 of a different color. That's very different from blue. So I'm choosing this pretty little kind of coffee color brown. 1, 2, and 3. All right, there's a lot of nice contrast with these 2 colors. They're not close together, so this is going to work really well. You don't want to pick colors that are close. Like you wouldn't want to pick a red and an orange. It doesn't show up well. All right, so basket weaving is a pattern. You probably remember this from last year. I'm going to start with my blue, so I'm going to start underneath my warp string. See how it's going underneath? And that's important because all my blue is going to start under for this whole part of this lesson. And I'm going to weave through with my tabby weave just like we did last week. And I want to make sure that my blue is equal on both sides, so I have the same amount on both sides. Don't pull it through like we did before to leave a little inch. Leave it long on both sides, as equal as you can get it, because we're going to braid those. Now I'm going to my little brown color, and my brown is going to start on top of my warp string. It cannot start under, or you won't get that really pretty little basket design. So all the brown will always start on top for me, and all the blue will start on the bottom. Okay, and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm pulling it through and making it even on both sides. Good. Now I'm going to go back to my blue because it's a pattern. Remember, for me, my blue needs to start underneath. I say for me because you might have picked blue in another color and started with that other color first. And I'm pulling it through to make it even. There we go. Going back to my brown. My brown is always going to start on the top for me. Every year I have someone start everything either on the underneath or on top, and you don't get that really cute little basket effect. You can see it's already starting, and that's the fun part of this, is that you get a basket effect. That's why it's called basket weaving. And my blue starts under. And then my last brown starts over. And at that point, I'm going to move on to braiding. Now, some of you may already know how to braid, which is great. But if you don't know how to braid, I'm going to teach you how to braid. We're going to braid the arms, okay? So I have 6 pieces here. For braiding, you need 3 sections. So I'm going to put 1 blue and 1 brown over here to the right, 1 blue and 1 brown to the left, and 1 in the middle. And so braiding is also a pattern. You're going to take your first blue and brown, and you're going to hop over the middle one like this, okay? And they're going to switch spots. So now this one became the middle one, and that one's the right one. And I like to pull it a little bit when I'm braiding. Then I'm going to go to the left side, and it's going to become the middle. These 2 are going to switch. This one's going to jump over it, and it's going to switch spots like that, okay? And if you want a tight braid, you do have to give it a very gentle tug up there. Some of you might be able to braid just with holding your hands and not letting them loose, and that's fine. But this is for kids who don't know how to braid. This is my tutorial. I'm going back to the right, and I'm going to jump over the middle, and the middle becomes the right. Give it a little tug. Going to the left becomes the middle. Little tug. You can see my braids already starting right there. They're looking all cute. Right jumps over the middle. Very gentle, and notice how I'm putting my fingers down when I'm pulling it so it doesn't get twisty or anything. Left, middle, like again, if you already know how to braid, just go ahead and braid it. You can kind of fast forward over this part. Left over, I'm sorry, right over, middle, comes the middle. Left is going to become the middle. Right is going to become the middle. That left up there. Left is going to become the middle. Put that one up there. Right is going to become the middle. They're just kind of switching. See how they're switching spots? Make sure you're hopping over it. Hop over it. Get a nice braid there. You can see it already. And that's how you need to finish. And I'll show you how you can tie it off at the end. Now, you're going to get to the point where you may be able to hold your braids in your hand like this and go left to the middle, right to the middle, left. And if you're not ready for this, that is perfectly fine. Your braid might be a little bit loose, but it is a braid. And you know what? You're learning, and that makes me happy. So I'm going to finish all the way to the end. And then I'm going to grab one of my tabby strings, and I'm going to tie it off. Now, if I leave my braid just like that, if I leave it like this, it's going to unravel itself. So I'm just going to grab, I really like that blue, it's fun. I'm just going to grab one of those blues and cut it in half because I'll need the other half for the other side. And I'm going to put it underneath where my braid stopped. Okay, this is kind of where I stopped braiding, and this is now under it. And I'm going to tie it like you're tying your shoe. I'm going to tie it one time and pull really, really tight. And then I'm going to tie it a second time. So it makes a knot. That second time will make it into a knot and pull it really, really tight. And now my braid will not unravel. So let me show you one more time on the other side. Again, if you already know how to braid, just braid it and skip and go forward. So remember what we did is we put a blue, I put a blue and a brown on one side, on the right. I can tell that pencil's going to get in the way, so I'm going to take it out. I put a blue and a brown in the middle, and a blue and a brown to the left. And just to go over it again, my right hops over my middle, and my middle becomes the right. My left hops over my middle, and my middle becomes the left. Right, hop over middle, becomes the right. Left, hop over middle, becomes the left. Right, hop over middle. There we go. Left, hop over middle. They're going to switch spots. Right, switch spots with the middle. Left, switch spots with the middle. Right switch. Left switch. And we just do that. There goes my phone. Quiet you, phone. Left switch. Right switch. And we're going to do that till we kind of get to the end. And now you're going to know how to braid forever, for the rest of your life. You only need to learn it once. It's like riding a bike. How awesome is that? Every person on this planet should know how to braid. Every person should know. It's a good skill to know. Kind of like I said, riding a bike. Everyone should know how to ride a bike too. That's a good skill. All right. It's a little hard for me when it gets down here. I'm going to switch to my hands. Oops. It'd help if you could see my hands, wouldn't it? There we go. And I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did on the other side, where I take a little piece and put it underneath that second piece. Remember, I cut it in half, and putting it under where the braid stops. And this is the most important part. You want to tie it once, like you're, just like you're beginning to tie your shoe, and tie it a second time, just like you're beginning to tie your shoe. And that will keep it in place. And so now you have cute little arms. You've got your head. You've got your shirt. Your arms can say hi. How are you doing? And you just did a basket weave. Look how cute that looks.